Did you see the changes I made?
Indeed, that is what I think is supposed.
How's that computer working?
Don't think so.
Okay.
A little slow, but
Can I get my text on next Thursday?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Appreciate you ordering me around.
It's what I do.
Doesn't mean you listen. Doesn't mean you listen.
Thank you, sir.
Yo's?
How was your day today?
Yeah, it was busy. Yeah. I think I'm gonna be running around like head stuff.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I'm getting these, hey Jared, I'm getting these Palmetto pigskin tour stops lined up.
Yeah.
And once I get them all confirmed, I sent out all my emails today. I think we should put something, I don't know if this would be you or Amy. Put something on the website with our schedule.
I can do that.
Can you do that?
It'll be like a little tab up at the top, kind of how the affiliate station thing is.
Yeah. Well, no, I think I would like, instead of a tab, because then you gotta, can we do something that just appears on the website where you don't have to hit a tab?
Recruiting, and then just have that recruiting ticker.
Say again now?
I can do something like that recruiting ticker.
You want to do it in ticker form or you mean like a revolving thing? That's-
Revolving or just standing still.
That's not a bad idea. Okay, why are we not getting connected to South Carolina Radio Network? It says connected. Sometimes our internet is just the weirdest creature alive. Okay, did you get Deshaun cleaned up?
Yep. Deshaun's down. Everybody's down to about 4 minutes.
Okay.
How about that answer about Muschamp today?
Yeah, by David Williams.
Yeah.
Did you? Is this the whole Muschamp, the 420?
I just cut stuff out, like this guy back from injury, like like that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. Or any answers where he just kind of like said agree, affirmative or negative.
Yeah.
And or if it was like an 8-second answer, I figured that's probably something you could just mention. We don't need to hear it from him.
Nice. Wow.
I really don't want you to see me like this.
Seth Emerson got in touch with a pissed off mom. That's always a good story.
Pissed off on Kirby.
Pissed off mom at Saban.
What did Saban do?
Well, her son's a graduate DB at Alabama who wants to transfer to Georgia, and they're blocking it. Intentionally making the process difficult.
No, that's a good idea.
Alabama and Georgia don't even play every year.
No, but Saban is, see, what she's pointing out is they had another player, same situation, transfer to Missouri and did not block it, and eligible to play right away. And this kid wants to transfer to Georgia, and Saban's saying because the something about the SEC rule transferring within the league got to sit out a year, and thus
I don't know about that.
he will be a graduate this month.
I hadn't heard that one.
So he said, if you want to go someplace outside the SEC, we'd be glad to help you with that. Do that, Saban said.
I think if you're a graduate, you should be able to go wherever
I
you want
wonder
to go.
why Chris Black is transferring to Missouri, same deal. Graduate student, immediately eligible from Missouri. Why doesn't the SEC rule apply here?
Yeah, it must be going. I don't want Kirby Smart getting any of our
Well,
good players.
sounds
Might
like-
face Georgia in that championship.
This guy is he's a nickelback, so he's not a starter. but
Then Missouri has to dismiss a lineman.
They had two.
And if you're in good academic, if you graduate and you've had no disciplinary issues, and you want to go finish out your year somewhere else, there's no legitimate reason why anybody should block that.
That's stupid. That's so stupid. What it does is it creates an enemy down the road. Get a feeling.
Fancy.
Autograph fan shirt. No, not grab it.
Cubs win again?
Cubs win. Cubs win.
Must be nice.
Cubs win. Cubs win. They paid the price. I understand that.
Yeah. 100 how many years?
I don't understand that.
Georgia coaches seemed angry today. Kirby Smart went apoplectic at starting defense, and then had DeAndre Walker.
You tell them to take a chill pill.
So I get that. The Georgia coach. Ooh, Sony Michel takes some handoffs at Georgia's practice. Oh.
And then he sat back down.
And then his arm snapped again. Oh, hurts.
Daniel Murphy. Oh. Oh, look, tossing a Phillies fan. You going up in the stand and tossing somebody? All right, son. Jay Bruce. And the Mets.
We have a short segment with any free time. We got SC Wild, so we do some stuff on Twitter that's interesting.
Dog.
There's a story on CBS where they're talking about the
Jackie
ostracized.
Golf has announced it's ending its equipment business, including clubs, balls, and bags.
Where clubs.
There's an Alabama players ostracizing defensive back Brad Stevens.
Yeah.
Why would they ostracize?
Because he's not a
You're
Crimson
not-
Tiger.
He's not all in.
That's not a.
You're not all in?
You're not at West Point. They don't have no ostrich.
Where did they say this? Stop this guy jumping off the bridge near here.
I saw that story. I didn't read it though.
You can see from here, maybe. It'd be kind of neat to watch during the break. Oh no, it's out 277.
He went down.
Mm-hmm. He was ready to jump into traffic.
Wow.
That wouldn't have been good. Could you imagine?
He
Anybody
might
driving home.
So anyway,
His tires are blam.
got a really good
I'd
day
probably
today.
die. I'd probably like jerk the car,
What's
flip.
his name? What's his name? I want to see his
Dude,
face.
the rescue was captured on dash cam
Look at
video.
the dinner's like car.
Golly. Well, it happened on July 26th. The jumper A sweaty, thin man dressed in a white muscle shirt was on the phone with his aunt.
I'm gonna do it, Auntie.
Jump into traffic and see somebody put it to the floor. Hey, there he is, man.
And good evening, everybody. Welcome into Sports Talk, South Carolina Radio Network. Camps are underway. Nerves are getting rattled a little bit. Tempers are rising. Patience is wearing thin already.
And they don't even have the pads on.
You better prove some things come Saturday if you're David Williams when South Carolina puts you on the pads for the first time. Will Muschamp opening things up. A surprise visit with the media today by the Gamecocks head coach. He wasn't scheduled to meet with the media today, but he came over and gave his thoughts on the first two practices. And one of those thoughts was that not real happy with running back David Williams at this point. He is pretty happy about his offensive line right now. Feels good. Feels like that's a strength. Otherwise, nothing else more to say except that junior college offensive lineman Akeem Cooperwood did not make it into school and will not be joining the Gamecocks program.
Is that it? Forever? Never? Not
Well,
next year?
he's got to
not
retake summer
January?
school classes. He's got to retake summer school classes, as Coach told me, Bert Williams. And from there, we don't know what's going to happen. Does he go back onto the recruiting market? Will he be re-recruited by South Carolina or by others? I don't know. But right now, he's not going to be with the Gamecocks this season. So that's the news from USC camp. Clemson is on the field as we speak. They'll come off around 7:15 or so. We'll have post-practice coverage for you from the Tigers on our website, SportsTalkSC.com, later on tonight. So coming up throughout the program tonight, we'll have Will Muschamp, Perry Orth, USC quarterback, his thoughts on things from today. Also, Clemson quarterback Deshaun Watson, the Tiger players meeting with the media after their practice last night. We'll have some of that for you tonight as well here on Sports Talk. And some time for your calls here in the opening 30 minutes, 800-956-7266. Email talkback at sportstalksc.com and on Twitter at sportstalksc. So from a USC standpoint, it would be disappointing, to say the least, if David Williams cannot be that guy. A.J. Turner could step up, maybe one of the other freshmen, but, I mean, this is your most senior-laden running back, your most experienced, as little as it is. You want him to be the guy to get the carries.
Well, they've only had 2 practices. They haven't put on the pads yet. Coaches have a way of trying to motivate. So I don't think you don't panic no matter what. I think he didn't show a lot in the few opportunities that he had. He has not been impressive. I haven't even really seen flashes of David Williams yet.
Oh, I have.
I mean, maybe. I mean,
I have.
I'm not saying he hasn't had them, but when I sit there right now, no one can name one play. Maybe you can throw and go, oh, that was a great play. I mean, that's what we can expect more of. So
he had a 29-yard run one time, 115, 113.
You can remember them?
Yeah.
No,
29 yards. That's pretty specific. So I'm not gonna,
no, I think that's his longest run.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, who was it against and at what point in the game? He's got to step up, no doubt about it. But the fact that he hasn't done it in 2 days, that could just be a little prodding from the head coach.
All right, we'll be back. Sports Talk, South Carolina Radio Network.
Yeah, you always don't care if the coach prods you. It's when he looks at you and then hollers, next up. That's when you start to worry because he done forgot about you.
Hey, Jared, let's don't count down when when the music's playing, because I'm familiar with how much time we got. And what happens is when you talk, I can't hear him. Like he was talking, I couldn't hear what he said when you broke in. So we pretty much got that down. Now where it's good is when I'm on the road. Yeah. When I'm in here, not a problem. When I'm on the road, that's a good time. Okay. Are we streaming? Is streaming tonight?
Somebody print this out, send the quarterback Dominic Allen. Did you print this out?
I did not. I mean, I've got the news. Oh, there you are.
How's it going? 6:30.
Okay, yeah, I tried calling a couple of guys
Yeah,
last
it's that
night
time.
and today, and it's been nothing.
Nobody is doing this meeting. I would like to go to right now. Reach out to the contacts.
Okay.
Yeah, this,
They're practicing now. They've got,
yeah.
it's hard. If you get one, it's a reason to celebrate.
Oh, they've been thrown out of practice.
Yeah. Oh.
And they run off a simulator out there. That's the had the Golden State Warriors winning 83 games and an 82 game schedule.
Yeah.
Good luck with that. Oops. Put that dump button. Let me get the door.
I got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this guy from Tomahawk, the Bill, what's his name? Bill Elliott, Bud Elliott,
Bud
of
Elliott.
Tomahawk Nation. He's like, so 5 of the U.S. top 7 signees from the 2014 class are no longer on the team. Sure, South Carolina fans are thrilled with that hire.
What happened to him?
Well, I guess some of them have moved on for different things, but it's like, that's a very unfair thing to, like, 3 years later.
Yeah.
Those
Well,
guys are gone. He left enough talent for them to win the SEC East last year. I mean, his mistakes are pretty well documented, but I don't think anybody would say, oh, he just left. He didn't Steve Spurrier. Yeah. Like, he recruited problem childs. I mean, it's not uncommon for guys to leave after the guy that recruited them bounced.
Phone number here on Sports Talk, 800-956-7266. Grab a line. We'll get you on the air here. First part of the program coming up. Let you hear the latest from Will Muschamp. We talked with the media today. Also, USC quarterback Perry Orth, Clemson quarterback Deshaun Watson. And tonight, 7:30, of course, looking forward to another edition of Going to the Great Outdoors here in South Carolina. SC Wild coming up at 7:30. Captain Billy Downer will be in the house tonight. Always looking forward to seeing what he has to share with us about the upcoming deer season and other hunting seasons and things happening in the lakes and oceans around the state of South Carolina. 800-956-7266 is the phone number. Again, from USC today, from their practice, Akeem Cooperwood not getting into school, at least right now. Maybe it's going to be a closed case with him. The offensive lineman from Georgia Military Junior College. So that was one piece of news. Nothing yet on Steve Montag. Again, Muschamp wouldn't answer a question about him because he's not in the program. So that means that his transcript is somewhere in limbo. I would think it would be in South Carolina's hands by now, and perhaps they're just going through it and making a decision as to whether or not he gets into school. So that remains something that is status quo at this particular point. No major injuries to report on from today. Saw several players cramping up as they came over to the locker room. Several players. Boy, I tell you what, that's we've all probably had the minor cramps here and there, but seeing these guys have body cramps, I mean, just the whole thing lock up on them, or an entire leg lock up on them because of all the fluids they have lost on the practice field. I saw a few of those going through that as they came into the locker room. But otherwise, apparently a good day.
Didn't hydrate enough.
Yeah.
Got to stay hydrated.
A good 2 days on the practice field for USC thus far. They do feel like the offensive line is going to be quite good. They feel like they've got some veterans. They've got over 30 starts among the returning players, and they have some flexibility to move players 2 or 3 different ways up and down the line. It's a good-looking group. We had a chance to talk to Donnell Stanley today and Zach Bailey, DJ Park. They all look like they're in shape and ready to go. So that's a good place to start if you're South Carolina. Then you go from there to developing your skill position players. You hope somebody steps up at quarterback, whether it's Orth or McElwain. Those are the 2 most talked about at this time. You've got, of course, Bentley in the hunt as well. It does look more and more as if Nunez is going to find a permanent home at wide receiver. They love his athleticism. They feel like he's picked it up extremely well. Good route runner, good speed, good hands. There will be, as Muschamp said, a package for him at quarterback, but it does sound to me as if he is going to be a full-time receiver moving forward.
I'd have to see him play several games against defensive backs before I say he's a good route runner. And so he can run great against air.
Well, I mean, he is now running against DBs. He's probably been running against DBs all summer. You know, when they have those workouts, receivers, quarterbacks, DBs, they're running against each other. So it's not like he's just out there going up against a tree and see if he can beat a tree. I think he's going up there against their DBs, which in some case might be like going up against a tree, the way they covered in the past. Their hope is their secondary will be much better this year.
Well, it almost has to be, right? I would say it's going to be better. Will it be better enough? That's another debate.
Well, it sounds to me like the approach is going to be different, as last year, maybe the year before, they played a very soft defense. The idea was to keep the guy in front of you, don't get beat deep, just give up a little bit of yardage at a time. And, of course, teams
10 to 15 yards at a
move around
time.
the field. I get the feeling they're really going to come up to the line and jam the receivers.
Because you got a coach that realizes that even if you have Jadeveon Clowney at one end, he can't sack anybody. Why? Because you're giving the receiver so much cushion. 1, 2, throw it. 1, 2, throw it. 1, 2, 3. You give your defensive line no chance to sack the quarterback.
Well, that's what, even if you have a good rush, that these offenses now, a lot of them are quick. You get the ball and you're getting rid of it. You don't go downfield as much as some of these offenses. You have to have guys that can jam and cover. I know South Carolina fans, their number one complaint was, I mean, they would get a team behind schedule. I mean, they get a holding call, first and 20, they get a sack, and it's second and 20, and these guys are 10 yards off, so they get 10 yards on second down, another 10 yards on third down, and the chains are moving. Missouri did that over and over in that game in Columbia, Missouri last year. It was amazing to see. Normally when you get a team behind schedule, it's a win for the defense, but they would just give up. They would concede 7 to 10 yards very inexplicably. But as Will Muschamp has said, maybe there's a reason why those guys can't guard their shadow. So you have to have guys that can at least cover for a little while. Otherwise, they're going to be seeing the big plays.
I think Jamarcus King, if he's as good as advertised, is going to solve one of those cornerback positions for them, and also that'll provide more depth so they can move some people around and maybe find an equivalent, Rico McWilliams or somebody else on the other side. 800-956-7266, the number. Invite your phone calls here for the next few minutes. Let me update you on some news notes of the day. First of all, let's see here. Little issue over there at Alabama over a player who wants out. Maurice Smith, reserve defensive back for most of his career, played a lot on special teams, moved into a starter's job as a nickel back in spring practice. He's going to graduate this month. He wants to transfer to play somewhere else immediately. he'd like to go to Georgia. He's from Georgia, but his mother, Samara Smith, said Nick Saban and Alabama are, quote, intentionally, end quote, making the process difficult on her son. She told Seth Emerson of the AJC her son's first choice is to transfer closer to his home in Sugar Land, Texas, and go to Baylor. But after that scandal, he shifted the attention to Georgia, where Kirby Smart, of course, is the head coach. Knows Kirby Smart well from his days at Alabama. In a transfer appeal filing obtained by the AJC, Smith explained the hostile situation he was facing after requesting a release transfer from Saban on June 16th. Basically, he says that he's been made the kind of the scapegoat and kind of the unwanted. His locker was cleaned out. His personal belongings were in the trash. Personal items, photos, written goals, all that kind of stuff thrown into the trash, et cetera, et cetera. So he feels like he's been ostracized. Alabama's not commented on the letter. However, some text message screenshots the newspaper picked up apparently are not favorable toward the kid. So we have an issue here with Saban. Saban did not block the transfer of Chris Black, a wide receiver, to Missouri, also a graduate student. He's going to be eligible immediately. What he said here on the record is that something about an SEC rule that would keep Smith from being able to play right away. So he said, you can't go to Georgia, but we'll help you go anywhere outside the SEC. I don't understand the difference myself between Black transferring to Missouri in the SEC and being eligible right away, and this kid trying to go to Georgia and not being eligible.
Yeah, better program maybe. They're more worried about running into Georgia.
Well, they're thinking SEC championship.
But it's gutless if you're a coach, if you're that worried. And I made this point when we were talking about Williams transferring from North Carolina and them putting up that stink because they play in 2019. It's like you're one game. They're not in the same conference as you even, and it's one game. These kids, now that one is a little different. Here's a guy that's graduated, so he's done everything that he's been asked to do academically. He wants to finish out his career somewhere else. He should be able to go anywhere he wants to go, and Nick Saban should not be able to tell him no at this point. He gave everything he could to Alabama, got his degree, time to move on. He should go where he wants to go.
Speaking of Tyshawn Williams, of course, he's not eligible this year, but apparently he's looked good in 2 days. Muschamp likes what he sees in him. All right, 800-956-7266. We'll be right back. Was that the dragon on the phone earlier?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I can always tell when the dragon is on. Just cut him off and get off the phone with him.
I usually just put it down, pick it up 30 seconds later, and then just say, oh, thanks for that.
Yeah.
Gotta go.
And he's still talking.
He does not even let you get a breath in.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a strange bird, to say the least.
To say the least.
Friended me on Facebook and everything.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, yeah.
That's scary.
That's why you won't catch me on Facebook.
Of course, I got him on. I made the mistake of accepting it, and I get all these messages from him, and these group messages that I just, I delete immediately.
From who?
The dragon.
Oh.
I will say this: occasionally, he sends a news note that I haven't seen somewhere else because the guy apparently scans.
Normally he calls like CBSSports.com. Tom Brady will be suspended for the first 4 games of the NFL season. Like, okay, yeah, saw that.
Oh, it's Dave Muschamp's birthday.
Lincoln
No
was
wonder why he's
shot
in such a crappy mood.
Hard at work, even on his birthday. It makes him, what, 45?
47.
Because I think you were saying that you thought he might blow up on the media one day.
Yeah.
But you could tell, even in his opening statement today, you're like, oh, that made me come.
Again, he wasn't supposed to be there to talk to us today, so I was happy. Very happy. Can't begin is finish with no regrets. Let the new journey begin. Noah Green there. Look at Noah Green. I was cramping. All right, coming up, we will have recruiting news for you. Devontae Schuler, standout guard, native of Irmo, goes to Oak Hill Prep, put out his top 10 today. USC is on that list for his top 10. We'll run it all down for you a little bit later on. A couple of other things. Former USC defensive lineman Gerald Dixon Jr. signing with the Cowboys. Free agents signing there. From the Citadel, Coach Brent Thompson this afternoon announced that a violation of team rules over the summer has led him to suspend quarterback Dominique Allen for the first game of the season. And also, unrelated, he has also injured a finger, did so earlier this week. On his throwing hand, he will not be available to practice as they open camp. Tomorrow, he's going to miss about 4 weeks, but will be evaluated on a week-to-week basis. From Georgia, Sony Michel making a pretty speedy recovery from his broken forearm. He was taking handoffs today while the media was watching. Now, that could have been staged. They might have said, okay, Sony, get out there, carry the ball, let the media think you're healthy and going to play just to throw everybody off. I don't know that for a fact, but it's Georgia. What would you expect? He took the handoff from the quarterbacks and he ran straight ahead a few feet. He was wearing a white wrapping on his arm. The Bulldogs have, of course, Nick Chubb was leading the running backs in practice yesterday, so that's good news for them. Hey, they get Sony Michel healthy, Nick Chubb healthy, and if their quarterback, whoever turns out to be, he's going to be, either somebody's played a little bit last year or this freshman. That will be the key thing for Georgia, sort of sorting out the quarterback situation. You could say that for almost every team in the SEC this year. It's amazing how many teams are wondering who their starting quarterback is going to be.
I mean, outside of Tennessee, it's like everybody is trying to figure it out almost.
Tennessee and Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
But
they still have a guy that's got to prove them. They know who their guy's going to be.
Missouri's kind of set with their guy, the guy that replaced Matty Moore last year.
That's the only thing that Missouri's set with anywhere right now.
Yeah, them had the important quarterback.
Oh my goodness, yeah, and he's going to start. Looks like immediately for him. So, speaking of A&M, this happened, I guess, while I was gone. How about the story of their two coaches and the women's clinic?
Oh, I mean, what a train wreck!
How stupid is that?
What a train wreck!
I mean, that is just mind-boggling stupid.
It was like 3 years ago. People were talking about Kevin Sumlin. He was the guy. I mean, NFL teams wanted him. Every college job that was open, the big ones, they were ready to back up a Brinks truck for Kevin Sumlin, and he's well on his way to getting run out of College Station.
Mm-hmm. He'll have a golden umbrella if he runs.
Well, yeah, he's not going to have. He's not going to be poor, but it is incredible to see how far his stock has fallen and how quickly. And that's what can happen in college football. I mean, you go from the big dogs to the small dogs. One Johnny Manziel and a couple of bad decisions, and off you go.
Yep. Well, they had some great talent on that team when he first got there. The cupboard was not there, and I don't know that he's replaced it all properly. All right, Muschamp coming up in a moment.
Shoot, you run off 3 top quarterbacks. That'll scare you right there. Hey, we signed.
I saw that, and that was like, what are you thinking?
They weren't. That was the problem.
What are you not? I mean, that's just, even when you're not thinking you can't do something, that's stupid.
They weren't thinking. They forgot what. If this has been no women there, and that's normally how it is, they were still in that mode. Mm-hmm. Oh, wait a minute, this is the women's clinic, isn't it? Nobody did that. Just like the guys on that radio show in Atlanta did the joke on the guy with Luke Gage. Mm-hmm. And see, that's non-thinking. It's stupid.
Mike told me that when that happened, he was scheduled to do the show after that, and he did. He didn't know what had happened. He said because he wasn't listening. He didn't know what. And he walked in and started taking calls, and all these calls were coming in. He didn't know. He said he didn't know what the heck was going on. And next thing he knew, these guys are getting handed their walking papers. At first, they were going to suspend them, and then they just outright accident.
Well, one guy that was in there, and I guess he was there as talent, and maybe he wasn't involved in it. And I thought he was getting his walking papers too. Was the guy that's still there on NBA TV, Vince Cellini.
Yeah.
They didn't touch him.
Well, they landed over at 790's off the air now as a sports station, and they landed over at 680. State Shapiro's back on the air over there.
680 the fan.
790's off the air?
Yeah, they're no longer a sports station.
Really?
Yeah, just 680.
Crazy.
I like 680 better anyways.
Yeah. Apparently you weren't the only one.
You got Will ready?
Was ready.
Cool.
680.
And he just starts right in. No questions or anything. It's this. You want to hear
Yeah,
about?
just his statement. Yeah, let me just hear it.
Second day, we play football and pads. We're wearing helmets right now.
All good. Hey,
I didn't get Montag
not surprised.
again.
What are they sending his transcripts? Pony Express?
I got the feeling they're here. They just haven't been approved. I gotta believe they got them.
They got him. And
Nobody sends transcripts fast. They're just gotta hand deliver those things.
And those send about a fax machine that used to send one page per hour. The old fax machine.
When do you start school? Start classes?
August 18th.
As soon as the transcript gets in.
Do you want me to call anybody during the show?
Yeah, I'll give you some. I'll give you some names here coming up.
Okay.
Next break.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Mhm.
Oh man,
It's Drew Brees.
Tiger football 2016. Well, the Gamecocks back on the practice field with their split squad arrangements this morning. Veterans working, rookies working, separate groups, and make for a nice long morning for the Gamecock football team. Coach Will Muschamp overseeing everything. 2 days in the books for him now. And surprisingly, he came over to talk to us. We were gathered outside Williams-Brice Stadium to talk to the only coach we were going to talk to today was Kurt Roper and some of the offensive players. And when Muschamp came walking over from the practice field, he came over to us, talked to Steve Fink for a moment, and said, what you got? So we all went over to him to hear what he had. Here's what he had.
Every meeting is time. I swear to God, what you want.
Sure, stand up. What would we say?
Sure, wash.
Can't really put up with the first one again.
Will Muschamp from his session with the media this morning. I got a feeling, guys, when they put the pads on Saturday,
They're gonna hit.
that's going to be a brutal camp. I think there's going to be a lot of physicality out there. I think that Muschamp, he might not have the most talented team, but I think he wants to build the toughest team that he can.
Is it me or I'm thinking that you said that Muschamp wasn't supposed to come over to the meeting? I think he came over there directly for that David Williams question. Somebody's gonna ask it, and I'm gonna stick a needle in. And he did.
Maybe you made the comment, I think, last half hour about getting the message out
Yeah.
to the media about David Williams.
Yeah, that's what coaches do. I mean, 2 days in, there's nothing that David Williams really could have done
Right.
that wrong. I mean, maybe he loped on a player, did something. I mean, clearly that's why you do that. And then he wanted to move on. He made his point, and he was ready to move on because it's a fine line for a coach talking to the media, calling out a player between ticking them off or motivating them. But he's filling these guys out, and there's probably a lot of them are still filling him out. They went through the spring. That was kind of a get to know you phase. And now that he's got his team together, this is everybody. I mean, this is his group of guys. And now you have 3 weeks to mold them into a team ready to go on the road and face an SEC team to open the season. So I think everybody's kind of filling each other out right now. He's still filling out the media guys and trying to figure out how this is going to go. And you made the comment that you think he's ready to, between now and the opener, you think he's going to
Cut loose
on somebody. We know he's cutting loose on his players during the practices, but I'm with you. I think he's going to ride these guys probably very hard, and that's not something that anybody that's been around that program for a while, any of the returning players, are probably used to.
Yeah.
The intensity, the energy, the speed of a practice. Let's face it, Spurrier opened his practices. We saw Steve Spurrier practices. It was Camp Cupcake. And look, they won 11 games 3 straight years. They had some great players, some great teams, great seasons. But I've watched high school practices that had more intensity, more speed, more organization than some of the Spurrier run practices where they just do 7-on-7 and everybody would kind of call it a day.
Well, practice or anything in a team transcends the coach's personality. For instance, Spurrier will tell you in college, hey, the lights, hey, when the lights come on, because remember he used to say, I have to see who the players are, but I don't know who they are. Because some guys, oh man, they look good in practice. The lights come on, something goes wrong. Some of them, the light comes on, and they actually play well. He had that kind of attitude. But Muschamp is the intense guy that had to work to go from walk-on to a starter at Georgia. So what is his attitude? You have every play is your last play. Play it like your last play, and that's his attitude. So that's his personality, and that's the way they're going to practice.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt about it. We'll get a chance. Let me think here. Saturday, the media is going to get a chance to watch a few of the early periods, the stretching, and a little bit of the first 3 or 4 periods. So don't know how much we'll get to see, if much at all. But at least don't have the pads on. We'll get a chance to see him do a little something there. That'll be like at 8:15 in the morning. That's not open to the public. But we won't get to see anything, I'm sure, very significant. The feeling is, right now, and again, it's early, and when the pads go on, they get into the serious business, we'll see who separates. But right now, Kurt Roper talking about the quarterback situation, and he's seeing good things out of each of the 3 that are being considered for the starting job right now. And Perry Orth seems to be, and you'll hear from Perry coming up, he seems to be handling things quite well.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he is the older guy, but it just seems like the teammates really like him.
Yeah.
Even when we were talking to him today, some of them came over to kind of play with him and pull on him.
Yeah.
He seemed to respect
He's got
him,
that
really like him.
gravitas that you want from your leader.
Yeah. Can he cut down those interception toss?
Gonna have to.
That would help. Perry Orth coming up.
Yeah, that's what the guys were saying after the spring game anyway with McElwain. They said he needs to be more. They were impressed with him, but they said he's got to
Be more assertive.
Yeah, and that's a hard thing. When you're 17 years old and you're coming there, you don't want to be like, this is my team now. You're trying to feel your way out. And that's actually a good trait of his to not go there and be that guy that's like, okay, I've got this thing now.
It's just like when Peyton Manning was a freshman, what it is, he came in the hub talking and said, man, just call the play. And he's standing there trying to, like, pontificating to the team. Just call the play.
Just call the play.
Boom. Washington Nationals. All right, what do we got?
Swamp back.
Jay Cutler playing for the 6th offensive coordinator since 2009. Next.
Listen, as long as Jay Cutler continues to stink, I'll be very happy. That's not going to work.
Pardon me, was that Hall of Fame game this weekend?
I'll get Frank Martin tomorrow at 12:30.
Or they getting ready to go on their trip?
You know, watch them practice.
Yeah, for a few minutes.
Tell them to bring some off with
See
them.
how many F-bombs he drops. He said he's going to let most of the assistants do the coaching during this trip.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm. He's gonna just
They
sit
better,
back and observe and let Figure handle it.
they better bring some off with them with all that Zika.
He said, what did he say when somebody asked him about that? He said they're just gonna pray.
Just gonna what?
Pray. He said originally he was gonna take him to Europe, but he said it's just too crazy.
How about
right
that
now.
story y'all had on the news about that amoeba
Mhm.
down in the Edisto River?
Yeah, that doesn't sound fun.
And Matt said, you know, don't jump in feet first and inhale get the water up in your nose.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, what?
That's what happened to that girl up at the Whitewater Center in Charlotte. Went up her nose, and that's like a death sentence. You're not going to live. Like out of all the cases of it, only about 3 or 4 people have actually
There's
lived.
some kind of vaccine that they flew into South Carolina to try to.
It says some brain dead, they ain't got nothing. Had to cut
That's right. You get up in my brain, you're gonna starve.
Shut the brain off. Okay, God damn it. You won't have
Well,
anything. Let the big
well,
dog starve. Let the big dog starve.
By the way, Sports Talk was the only sports talk show that practiced today. For those keeping records. 107.5 the lane with all their people.
The lane.
You never heard that? We continue coverage of USC's camp today. Deshaun Watson, Clemson quarterback in the next hour. SC Wild, bottom of the next hour. You outdoorsmen, you fisher people. Should say you outdoor people and you fisher people.
Your anglers.
Yeah, that too. Get your questions ready for the captain. Billy Downer will be here at 7:30. Look forward to our segment tonight. Perry Orth, USC quarterback, was one to come over and talk with us this morning after practice. Right now, I mean, nobody's saying it because they've gone back and forth with the first team. But because of his experience and the fact he's played in SEC games home and away, and he's played in some tough venues, you got to consider him the guy to beat at this particular time until somebody surpasses him. So he's feeling pretty good about things after a couple of days of practice. He gave us an update.
Yeah, hey, leader, I think we have a lot of different leaders. Your guy, I know we got to look at me, whether that be on the field or off the field, but yeah, yeah, absolutely. Just I feel like I said the other day, I feel like we need to slow down a lot. Understanding the offense has gotten better with a lot of time. Get ready for it, everything slowed down a lot for that. Slow down. We spent probably an hour a day. Me and Brandon, Jake, other quarterbacks, watching other things that we did good last season. Some of the things we did bad. We also spent a lot of time on plays and where we are. Some of the teams that we were playing around. So yeah, we spent a lot of.
Donnell Stanley's a sophomore, right? Redshirt sophomore. Is Donnell Stanley a redshirt freshman or redshirt sophomore?
Sophomore.
Is he playing guard? Stanley? Guard?
Guard. Some center. Playing some center.
All the inside positions.
Jake is, split practice. So he's getting all the reps down there, and Lorenzo has been yeah, every single day. Just his ability to put on. He throws across the field last game. And
within 20 seconds of the break.
Cut it after this if you want to, after his answer.
No, I don't know when they will. I guess whenever they figure out who they want. But so whether that be the day before we play Vanderbilt or I'm not quite sure whenever that guy emerges.
Okay, Perry Orth, from his meeting with the media earlier today, handling the media quite well. And the thing is, like he said, like we all know, he did some good things last year, had some good moments, just some mistakes at inopportune times cost them, possible victories here and there. He was learning on the job last year, being thrust into that situation. I think that's probably, when you think back to Spurrier's career at South Carolina, greatest indictment against him would be that for a guy who was renowned for developing quarterbacks in his career at Florida, never really got the quarterback thing going in a big way at South Carolina.
Yeah, you don't think so? I mean, Stephen Garcia flamed out for off the field issues. Connor Shaw, best in school history.
For a 10-year
I mean,
run.
Connor Shaw and Dylan Thompson are both on an NFL roster right now.
Who picked up Dylan?
Didn't the Rams pick him up? I think the LA Rams picked him up. Yeah.
Well, for a 10-year period, though, two quarterbacks that you would point to.
Florida's quarterbacks at Florida, best ones were lowly recruited. Because the prima donnas ain't taking that shit off Spurs. So they didn't play for them.
Spurrier's already out there saying, yeah, I think so-and-so has this, the edge to start. And Matt Wayne's like, no. He's been out here for 3 practices. I guess that's what he thinks.
Talking about Del Rio?
Yeah. Just bad. Matt Wayne's probably like, why the hell do I have to deal with this guy now? I liked it better when he was a statue out front.
Yeah.
Hey, make sure when you post your audio that you don't forget that step where you go to the network, like over here on this side, and you click. I mean, you have to do it.
Did I not do that before?
No. We found it. What am I?
I had to go. I went back and did it.
Thank you.
We really threw Jay Harper a curveball this week.
Yeah,
What happened?
we didn't get the recruiting voice, sir.
Yeah, that's the only thing.
But you said you got one. You missed one earlier. Yeah.
Mhm.
Can I?
Yeah. That was a cut. That wasn't attached.
Winterville, North Carolina. Oh, police.
Come on.
All right.
Yeah, great.
College, I think that's Illinois.
Does anybody ever figure out Teddy's password? The Gamecock Central?
Yeah.
What is it?
Jets,
12 something.
yeah, Jets 12, JETS 12.
And it's what, old first baseman?
Old time first baseman.
All together or separated?
All together.
Oh.
To the recruiting report we go here on this Wednesday edition of Sports Talk. Lots to talk about. Running back Jalen Holston of Stockbridge, Georgia, camped at USC in June and July. Felt he did well in both camps. Bobby Bentley, recruiting him for South Carolina, has said some positive things to him. He said they told him that they're trying to get at least 2 backs. Of course, USC has 1 running back committed. He says they're telling him they're trying to get at least 2 backs, and they want him to be that guy. Said that they want him to know that they feel the same about him as the others, and he's going to be their #1 guy, as he puts it. He visited North Carolina, Virginia Tech, and Tennessee this summer, and those 3 are in the mix of the Gamecocks. He's planning to visit West Virginia. He'd also like to visit Georgia. He'd like to make his decision this month or September. He calls Virginia Tech the current favorite. Receiver Ortre Smith from Wando finished all his visits. He's now in the process of working on that decision. The announcement's still set for September 11th. USC, Clemson, Georgia, North Carolina, and Florida. His mentor and trainer is Ramon Robinson from up in Greenville. And he tells us that for Smith, it's been a humbling experience, a growing up experience for him. And the biggest thing with him, the relationship with the coaching staff and the head coach of the school. He's going through that process, he said, to see who's going to make him better and where he can contribute to, whether it's now or later. He said the big thing with him is relationships. Smith had good visits to all 5 schools. He's developing strong relationships with the head coaches and the recruiters at each of those schools. Really, Florida, not sure if they're going to be in the mix. They were kind of late to the party here. The other 4, though, all really strong and really solid with him at this point. Robinson said Smith made multiple visits to all his favorites. He has seen all he needs to see, so he does not expect any more visits before the 11th. Smith plans to graduate in December, enroll at his school of choice in January. And, he tells him, Robinson says he texts Smith to ask him where he is in recruiting, and he says, Coach, I'm almost there. I'm almost there. But no one is rushing him. Defensive end Ryan Johnson of Mobile, Alabama, who has offers from USC and Clemson, was offered by Texas. Athlete Malik Williams of Chester committed to Appalachian State. Basketball, Devontae Schuler, Oak Hill Prep and Irmo, top 10. USC, North Carolina, Louisville, Oklahoma State, Southern Cal, Texas, Ole Miss, Western Kentucky, Miami, and Kentucky. 2019 forward Christian Brown, AC Flora, visiting Virginia today. He's got a Clemson offer. 6'4", A.J. Sanders, only junior college in Illinois, committed to Coastal. In baseball, 2018 catcher Wesley Clark, Lynchburg, Virginia, commits to USC, as does 2018 right-hander Daniel Lloyd of Somerville. That was reported by DiamondProspects.com. That's recruiting. Check it out online on the website, SportsTalkSC.com, and on Twitter, use the hashtag #STRecruiting. Top of the hour break. We'll be back. All right, let's go see right here. This person over to get on the phone. Oh. Dun, 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 dun. Oh. Take it away.
Dwight Freeney coming to practice tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
First time.
Grady Jarrett. That'll be his prize people. That's just me.
Grady Jarrett, I think, is going to be the Falcons' big breakout player this year.
They really like the kid you talking about in Minnesota.
Devondre Campbell.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. We got 2 Minnesota players on our team.
You know they had who was that working here in Minnesota draft? Yeah, I used to play for the Falcons from Athens, Georgia, but went to Tennessee.
Some
Chris-
Sherman.
No, Chuck Smith.
Chuck Smith, yeah.
Because Chuck Smith was a linebacker. I think he was a linebacker in Tennessee. They made him a defensive end at the Falcons. He was a nasty defensive end too.
I'm ready for the first day. First day of free.
I still miss driving to Spartanburg in the morning, watching the Panthers as they drive up to Greenville, watch the Falcons till they move. What is the name of that branch?
Flowery.
Flowery Branch. Right across the street from Connor Shaw.
Not very flowery there.
It's not.
There's not a lot of flowers in
It's
Flowery
not
Branch.
anything.
I like when we were in Swanee. Only problem with Swanee was right above the practice field. I can't remember which one. It was either Burger King or McDonald's, and the damn smoke from the darn burned up burgers used to come right down on the field while the guys practice.
Man.
I'll never forget that time. They had some defensive back that played at San Diego State that met his dad for the first time ever, or whatever. I can't remember his name. And then my nephews were young then. We went to Swanee, stay a couple of days watching practice. And after they met him, real nice guy. He was real nice with the kids. And then
just see what you got tonight.
the next week he fixed a cocaine cocktail and killed himself.
That's great.
He killed himself. I couldn't believe it. Because I had a former professor at USC put a bullet in his head. Right there in the president's conference room. Dr. Zeltner, philosophy professor.
Did you go to Flowery Branch, K-Mac?
Did I go to Flowery Branch?
You just know there's nothing there.
Yeah, every time I see it, I'm like, doesn't look like there's a lot of flowers in Flowery Branch.
It's in the middle of nothing.
Ooh.
In nondescript Georgia.
Which is most all of Georgia. Oh.
I don't know, Savannah's kind of nice.
South Georgia, man.
Smell.
I was driving.
Greenville Mountains is
I was driving to Tallahassee, and there was a sign that said rattlesnakes, $10 per foot.
There you go.
Where was this?
They were buying them at the gas
No,
station.
they're selling them. Get that rattlesnake.
Yeah.
Did you know that Walker's opening up on Thursday night?
Uh,
The same night Carolina plays. They're playing Tennessee Tech.
Yeah, but if you caught them and took them there, they'd buy them too. Yeah, I guess that's what people do is eat the meat, or they want the skins.
They
Big jerky out of it.
jerky. I'll never get going to Tallahassee. My buddy and I, my buddy went to Florida State. We went through Valdosta right in the middle of high school Friday night. What a damn soul in the town.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody. Nobody.
You know that.
Valdosta. My buddy's uncle taught 25 years in the Georgia system. He was a math teacher. Drawing his retirement, he lived in Bainbridge, which is 20 miles from the Florida border.
Yeah.
Drive across the border and collecting a paycheck. They're teaching, still teaching.
Okay, we're back. It's hour number 2, Sports Talk, South Carolina Radio Network. From downtown Columbia. Good to have you with us. Phil Kornblum, Kevin McCrary, Professor Tom Hayes, all together once again here in our beautiful plush Learfield Main Street studios in Columbia. And we're joined in the background by Jared Rogers Martin. He's so talented. He takes 3 names to identify him. He's one of those.
Why wouldn't you just go J Mark if you were going to make it? Why do you do?
Because he's got 3 names. Jarmart, Jared Rogers Martin.
But we've only seen him in shorts and helmets.
That's right. We got to see what it's like when you
Yeah,
put the pads on.
he does have to put the pads on. He hasn't put the pads on yet.
And Carson Nova is here as well, Carson Mason. We'll have her preview tonight of the Vanderbilt Commodores. So pay attention They attend now. Vandy. We talk about teams and their quarterback situations. Vandy knows their quarterback. Remember, they named him back in the summer, so they go into fall camp fully aware of what they're going to be doing at quarterback starting out. Is it Schumer?
Mm-hmm.
Kyle Schumer, I think it is, starting for Vanderbilt against the Gamecocks. I still like South Carolina to win that game, and simply because it's Vandy. And I still don't know that Vandy's going to be any good. And they might be thinking, Vandy might be thinking,
You've been around enough to see Vanderbilt beat South Carolina.
Well, why don't you like Vandy? Why? Why is that? Did you try to get into
Yeah,
Vandy?
he tried to get in there. So that's
that
how he
wouldn't
ended up in
happen.
Georgia. They turned him down.
Did they turn you down when you tried to apply there a few years ago? Is that what happened?
Ex-girlfriend broke up with him and went to Vanderbilt.
Oh, is that what happened?
There's a backstory. Who hates Vanderbilt? They're like a little puppy.
And it's in a great town and all that. I mean, come on.
It was tough. She went with J. Martin.
Anyway, we've got our Vanderbilt preview coming up a little bit later on. After we come back from this break, our first camp words from the great one. Oh, great one. Deshaun Watson. Ready to set the world on fire. Can he do as much as he did last year?
He must.
He must?
Yeah. Why couldn't he?
I'm just
He
wondering.
did set an NCAA record last year with 4,000 yards.
Can you
passing
imagine
and,
that?
over 1,000
So I
yards
think he's
rushing.
responsible for what, just under 50 touchdowns?
Yeah. I mean, it was incredible what he did last year.
Better players around him this year on that side of the ball. You could make that case. Mike Williams back, true number one wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
You have all the other guys. You have Artavis Scott. They're just Kane. All these guys that they can work in there.
They are absolutely loaded for bear on offense.
Renfro. I mean, don't forget about him.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody out there.
We will get the words of Watson coming up here after this break on Sports Talk.
Yeah, he's already down 1-0.
Ah, jeez. Leadoff homer by Granderson. We should never have let him get away.
Granderson.
Unbelievable. He sucks. Unbelievable, man. I got a feeling it's going to be a long night at Yankee Stadium.
Ooh! Oh, that took a hit. Boy, the Giants, man, what happened to them? They lost 14 out of their last 20.
Well, they made that East Coast trip, and it all kind of fell apart.
Good.
East side, strong side.
And this is supposed to be their click year, these even years with the Giants. These even years with the Giants, what did they won in what? 2012, 26, no, 2008, 2010 and 2012. Ooh. Oh, now you know why the Mets colors are blue and orange, right? You know.
I don't.
When they were an expansion team in '62, there were no National League teams left. So what they did was they took the blue of the Dodgers and the orange of the Giants, the two teams that moved from New York, and that became their colors. That's why the colors are blue and orange.
And that's how we get the Nets. Yep.
Oh. Yep, that is how. Yeah, the Dodgers have lost all their pitchers and they're still making up ground.
Hey!
Hey!
What's up?
Where's your break?
That's so ridiculous.
Man, really?
I was camping.
Midlife crisis.
I went camping into the deep, deep woods,
Check your gun.
and
We can talk about it all night.
I got to tell you what happened. We did go up to Asheville. And we stayed in a cabin, not a cabin, but a mountain home. And so I had to go out in the car to get something. And I said, "Gee, we're staying with another couple." And I said, "Sure hope a bear doesn't get me when I'm walking, because this thing's in the woods, in the mountain." So anyway, the next morning we wake up and the wife of or the friend who was there, she comes in with this picture on her phone of 2 bears in the backyard from that morning. 2 big bears. And she shows it to me. She goes, "Look what was in the backyard this morning." I go,
Probably
"Wow."
tracking your ass.
And I tell everybody,
Did you just tell her that was your tracksuit?
and then the next day they tell me, "We got to tell you something. That was photoshopped." There were no bears back there, though they are in the area.
No,
But she photoshopped a couple of bears in the backyard.
And
Well,
you
those
believe it.
bears are
And I believe it, yeah, because it looked real.
Hundreds of business bears.
They eat meat too.
They got a very nice.
They eat dead deer. They eat carry on. As they call it, carry on.
Especially if it's a
All right, you got
drought.
Deshaun ready? Is it
Pick
beginning
something
with
off
him?
the highway and eat it. Roadkill.
Possum stew.
Possum stew.
All right, Clemson football team, they have wrapped up their practice for today. We'll give you some notes on that as it becomes available. Players just now trickling out of the practice field area. And I believe that Tony Elliott and Jeff Scott will be talking with the media along with some players. And we'll pass along some notes to you here in a little bit as soon as we get some in here. Now, last night after practice, Deshaun Watson was among the Tiger players to meet with the media. Of course, in all likelihood, you never say never, but in all likelihood, this will be his last year at Clemson. So he wants to go out with a bang, get that ring if he can, take that one step that they could not take last year. And if they win a national championship, it will largely be because of his performance. Everybody agrees how special he is. And in talking with the media, he let us in on his thoughts about this team and this upcoming season, and of course how the practice is going on here early on. Ooh, Auburn dismisses Javon Robinson.
Oh.
Supposed to be their starting running back this year.
Hmm.
Phil. Carson Martin. Phil.
Take a hit.
How much longer you got?
40 seconds.
Ooh. Okay, one thing about Deshaun Watson, he just remains a humble guy.
Yep.
You know, I mean, more talented than, you know, most everybody else on earth, you might say, but still a very humble guy, a grounded guy, a team guy. And that's why his teammates love him, because he does not put himself ahead of the team by any means. Breaking news out of Auburn just a few moments ago, Gus Malzahn announcing that the team's projected leading and starting running back, Javon Robinson, dismissed from the team. Malzahn said he did not meet my standards.
Yeah. Now, he's been in that doghouse there for a while. I know last year he spent some time in Malzahn's doghouse and then kind of got it rolling. And it looks like Kerryon Johnson could be next man up for them.
Boy, they have lost a ton of yardage that they expected to have back for this year's team, and this was one of the guys who provided some of that last year, and now they turn to, if it's Kerryon Johnson, they turn to somebody that well, obviously didn't do a whole lot for him last season. So an Auburn team already, you know, pretty much offensively challenged is now, you know, taking a big hit here just a few weeks before they face Clemson at their place. Now, some notes from the Clemson camp from Will Vandervoort, the Clemson insider, who watched the first 12 periods today. Some notes from him. Cannon Smith was still in a green jersey today, which means limited contact, off-season shoulder surgery. DeAndre Overton was in a yellow jersey early on. Then they came over and took that jersey off of him, and wearing a small bandage over his knee. Reserve left guard Noah Green, starting right guard Tyrone Crowder back at practice today. They had cramps yesterday. Punt returns, they saw Powell and Tavian Feaster working there. Also, Hunter Renfro and Ray McLeod. During running back and quarterback pitch drills, Feaster took a pitch from Watson and took off down the sideline. We're talking speed. We're talking the fastest player in South Carolina last year in Tavian Feaster. On the way back to the huddle, according to Will, running backs coach Tony Elliott said to Feaster, quote, "You need to run faster." Okay. Inside drills, they noticed Feaster was taking more handoffs from Deshaun Watson than he was on Tuesday. Tigers even lined up in a two-back set some, with Wayne Gallman to the left and Feaster to the right. And during passing drills, Deion Kane won one-on-one battles with Ryan Carter and Mark Fields, and they say that Travion Thompson, second straight day, looked good out in practice. Vanderbilt preview coming up here on SportsTalk. Fast, the guy runs a 4.28. That's all. That's it. They wanted to run faster. What does Clemson want?
Faster.
Complete domination?
No,
ACC.
they want to see a guy run 3.9.
Would you tell the Citadel to quit picking on the Gamecocks? All right, you're going to give them inferiority complex. They need to win that.
You feel like I won.
Who'd you get?
Darius. But it was not that interesting because he hasn't done anything really in this process. But he's just said there's no front runner still. It's the top 5. The most interesting thing he said was that very, very soon he'll have his official visits, but he wouldn't tell me when.
Yeah.
I was like, when are you gonna announce? How are you gonna
Dominic or Dominique Alex?
announce that? And he said
Dominique.
he'll put all the visits on Twitter, I guess. So.
Yeah.
But nothing really.
Well, put up what you got. Write up a little story.
Okay, I got some quotes and
Yeah.
he said
Did he say anything more? Did he say who he's been in touch with?
Yeah, he's been talking with the main recruiters at each school. So it's T-Rob, I think, and then Reed. But he said he talks with everybody, the 5, pretty often.
He's not ready to make a decision yet.
I asked him if he knows when the decision. Like I asked him everything, and he's just kind of at a standstill.
Let me talk with you real quick. How long we got lead in here?
We got like 12 seconds, but I can't find the file.
Can't find the file?
Can't find the file. So it can be whatever I want, just it won't have a music bed. I'll just put one up as we're going.
I mean, you are playing Vanderbilt here, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you can't find what file?
The one we've mixed down with the music bed.
Oh, okay. Let's run the preview.
All right.
Don't you have to start 8 seconds early to hit the right time or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
Give me just a few.
All right, coming up in just a moment, a preview of the Vanderbilt Commodores, a team that USC will face in the season opener in a little over 3 weeks from now. Gamecocks and Commodores in Nashville, ESPN, Thursday night football. South Carolina hoping to get off on the right foot. Same thing with Vanderbilt in their 3rd year under their coach, who has tried to turn his offense over to other people and let them see what they can do while he focuses on the defense. And they feel like they're going to be pretty good on defense. I'll say one thing. They've got an excellent running back and one of the better running backs in the SEC. Yeah, so South Carolina had better be ready for him. Defensively, Carson Mason gives us this preview of the Commodores.
Jeez. So we just decided to go cold on these?
He couldn't find it.
The file is not in the table.
Yeah.
I mean, aren't we producing these in advance, or are you running the music at the same time?
No, this was produced all this morning. We went through it.
Couldn't find anything.
I don't understand. You mean you produced it this morning with the music and everything, but you can't find that file that was produced.
They played Georgia tough defensively. They just couldn't move the football at all. And they gave Georgia a short field about 3 times.
Have you ever had this happen when you're trying to attach a file? Where it says it's blocked?
What now?
Or have you ever had it block your file when you're trying to
No.
upload it on Aces?
No. That's a new one.
Options for site, more settings. Good, nice intro. Meter cut. There, now it's working. That's just bizarre. If that ever happens, you just got to close out and go back into the thing. Just go back into Aces.
All right, Carcinova, thank you very much for that. And we'll be back. SC Wild coming up. All right, Crow, we'll see you tomorrow.
Later, Gator.
It's not raining.
Not here.
Yeah. I'll answer on the basic message, but I'm not.
Cut off some of it.
What we talking about tonight?
We're gonna talk about Jellyfish NATO,
Let me tell you.
the new movie out in the sci-fi.
Jellyfish NATO.
We
Or
were
Jelly Shop.
last 2 weeks, jellyfish in Myrtle Beach. We got to talk about that. I saw kids screaming coming out.
Look at the itinerary.
Here we go.
Oh, jellyfish.
Jellyfish. Sure,
Very
ain't going.
good. This is excellent. I will be an eyewitness. I wouldn't go in. I wouldn't go in above my
We're
ankles.
gonna talk about the truth.
Some people,
There's no
some
truth.
people are afraid of
I
jellyfish.
saw them in the back of our house in Merle's Inlet. They were floating by the dozens, not all grouped together, but of course. And there was a different, they had these long tails
Did you see
to
their
it.
teeth?
No, but I saw these long
Vicious.
tails.
Did you see the teeth? Vicious. You see the blood trailing from them?
Jellyfish?
Yes.
You're lying.
Blood trailing from behind the jellyfish.
I saw the ones I saw had big sharp teeth.
There was a water spout outside of Georgetown. Jellyfish were thrown everywhere. People were running the streets.
I'm telling you, it was mass panic. Nobody was in the ocean. I'm telling you, all right, don't make
That was not, you know why? People, I heard from friends that were at the beach and they couldn't get the water after like Thursday or something.
Yeah, it was terrible.
But always in August, so I'm talking about, we're talking about.
Yeah.
This is really not even a wildlife thing, but did you know jellyfish are the favorite food group for the leatherback sea turtle, which is endangered?
Can humans eat? Can you eat jellyfish?
Yes.
People are actually, do you see what people are painting on the turtles? They just, Matt, where was that where they're painting on the turtles?
Can't paint
I think that was in
turtles.
Florida. That wasn't in South Carolina, but they had to say people were like
Oh my God.
catching the turtle and then painting their shells
For what reason?
because they're dumbasses.
Thank you. Let's say that out there.
Make it pretty.
It just looks pretty.
Nothing pretty about a
And
jellyfish.
this one I painted pink with yellow polka dots.
Endangered leatherback. Their favorite food, well, what favorite foods for leatherbacks is the cannonball jellyfish. The cannonball jellyfish is the one you see the most.
Yeah,
That kind of brownish one.
yeah. It kind of looks like a ball.
Ball.
Yeah.
Will have a lot of
But the ones I saw were smaller. They had a long trail of tail.
Really?
Yeah. Those were the ones that were stinging people.
Well, that's the cannonballs too.
Yeah,
And there's the Portuguese man of war, of course.
yeah. That's very popular.
It's not popular in South Carolina, but hey. Here it is. Charleston Potion Girl Jellyfish.
How about the story about the alligator that ate the woman?
We're going to be very careful on that. Let's don't, if we get a phone call, we'll stick to the storyline, which is what we know, because there's a lot of information on that. It's not.
Did DNR investigate that?
Yeah.
We all killed the alligator too. Yes. My wife was upset that you killed the alligator. It's okay.
A lot of information's kind of.
Are they not sure it was a gator? They're not sure it was a gator?
They sure it was a gator.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but how it went down.
Yeah.
End of the day,
Yeah.
And we welcome in Captain Billy Downer here on Sports Talk SC Wild on this Wednesday night. Good to see you once again. How are you?
glad to be here.
How's your holiday season been, your vacation season, your summer season? Have you had a vacation?
Yes, I did. Went to the beach. Went. Actually, you missed that. We came back and we did the gigging report, which was based on our gigging experiences.
Did you have a good gigging experience?
We did. Slow on flounder, but we had some good gigging with some redfish.
Where were you?
We were down the Fripp area, Buford area.
Yeah.
So Fripp Inlet had some good success there.
Yeah, very nice, very nice. What was it you were gigging for flounder and you were?
Yes. We were, again, with gigs, you know, you're out there after dark, you're usually low tide, or change low tide before or after it. And you're looking for flounder on the edges as they're waiting for the water to start rising back up. They're waiting. Redfish, same thing. We talk about redfish, you know, they're sitting there on the edge of the grass beds waiting for the water to get to the grass, or they can get to all of the different food that they want to eat, because a lot of the smaller fish and things are there too.
How do you like to cook your flounder?
I personally like to bake flounder and have it with lemon juice. I mean, I'm very plain with that. I'm not fancy.
You don't
lemon
put
juice.
the
fry it?
Yeah.
No, I'd rather have it. I mean, frying's okay. You know, you can buttermilk fry anything. It's good. But I like to bake it.
Yeah. I bet you make a
That
good
good shit.
flounder.
Roll it. Put some, you know, the paprika across there.
Yeah, yeah.
Lemon
All right.
juice.
Our phone number is 800-956-7266. If you have a question or a comment for the captain from DNR, Captain Billy Downer, 800-956-7266, or comment or question on Twitter at SportsTalk SC, or email, of course, talkback@sportstalksc.com. It's funny that your subject tonight, your primary subject, is jellyfish, because I just came from Garden City, Grand Strand area, Myrtle Beach, etc., last week, and we had an outbreak of jellyfish in the mid to latter part of last week, whereas you entered the water at your own risk. I saw little kids running out of the water screaming after being stung. I wouldn't go anywhere near it, and I wasn't alone. I mean, the beach was there to be taken by anybody. Nobody was going in the water. It's sort of like in the movie Jaws.
I was about to say, here we go. It sounds like we're building up for Jaws already again.
Well, I'm serious.
No,
I was there. I witnessed it. I saw the jellyfish. What's up with that?
Well, here's the deal. If, you know, going to the beach all my life, and during the summertime a lot, we were fortunate to be able to go to the beach a good bit. My grandparents had a house down in Garden City, matter of fact.
Mm-hmm.
And we went right there with the Garden City Motor Inn, right there at Rainbow Drive.
Sure.
It was right there. But in August, you never could swim for a long time. When it got hot, really hot, like it's been this past week, you know, 100-degree days, jellyfish always would come. It was when they would float in then.
And they're coming from where?
from the ocean, from offshore. They come in. It's again, we're talking about jellyfish from India. They're not coming and invading the seashore. They're not flying in, swimming in there to go attack humans. That's not what's going on. They pretty much are limited to horizontal movement, very limited control, but the ocean swell brings them in. Now they do move in, of course, somewhat movement, but it's always when it got hot. Is what I remember the jellyfish was so August was when I remember you couldn't swim much because of the jellyfish. And here we are at 1st August, so last week we were a little early, but been a lot of attention. I was just looking at an article posted courier on jellyfish and stings, talking about the medical university about how you take care of stings and things. But this is not an uncommon occurrence. They've been around for years.
What's their purpose in the ocean?
Jellyfish are a food group, matter of fact. They have, how do they sting? Go back to that. They have tentacles or very limited tentacles. They use a sting to paralyze fish so they can eat them. That's what they do. Now, that sting is generally not that harmful to humans. It's a lot of discomfort for sure, but it doesn't. It's not beyond pain and not to killing you unless you have a severe reaction, of course. Then there's the Portuguese. You start talking about what about the Portuguese man of war? Well, there is a jellyfish out there that's highly toxic. Venomous may be the word there, but the Portuguese man of war is not common on South Carolina shores at all. I want to say it's in the Australia area or anywhere else, but. So the main jellyfish we have is that round one we call a cannonball jellyfish. Kind of brownish on the edges, clear gelatinous on the top. Matter of fact, you put your hand on top of it, it's the underside where the tentacles are.
Now, my wife, I don't like to bring up personal stuff, but my wife is a school teacher, a science teacher.
Right.
And she will pick up a jellyfish.
Sure.
And I'm like, are you kidding me? She'll pick it up from the side you're talking about, turn it over and look at it and stick it back in the water.
Sure.
And I'm like, don't call me if he turns around and bites you.
Robert, he turns around and bites you. Yeah, exactly. There we go. Here he goes again with the jaws of death. The jellyfish NATO coming. That's let's try to find that word.
But I saw something we saw a lot of were smaller jellyfish that had like these long tentacles coming from them.
There are different varieties of jellyfish, different species that are South Carolina. When I said that the cannonball is probably the most popular, the most common you see. Not popular, no, popular, but the most common you see. There are other varieties. Again, most of them, though, the sting is not. It's a minor discomfort to the most part. But one thing to keep in mind: jellyfish are a food group, and one of the major food groups, particularly the cannonball, which is very popular, is the leatherback sea turtle, which is endangered. They eat that jellyfish. That's what they eat. So they
major indigestion.
Look, I don't know how they do it, but they do it. They eat them. And in fact, other marine mammals, including, and then also spadefish and sunfish eat jellyfish. So they are a food group. So the purpose in being there is they provide food for other animals.
Yeah. All right. 800-956-7266. Let's jump to the phone line. Question or comment for Captain Billy Downer from DNR. And Jarmart, where are we headed here? And to whom are we headed to? I can't hear you. You're talking, but I hear nothing. You need to talk to me. Tell me, and I'll tell the world. Lenny from Hampton. Okay, Lenny, welcome in. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Good. I had a question. I was wondering if the cat could explain. And I know that sometimes I get a look like a new fish jelly ball.
Right.
You could explain the difference between jellyfish and jelly balls. And I know that I think there's something like jelly balls. That's just it.
Thank you, sir.
That's a great question, and I'm not sure I have all of the answers for that. The jelly ball is something that you use for spadefish. That's one of the most popular items you use to catch spadefish, and they are a naturally occurring gelatinous material that's found in the ocean that is used. It's not a jellyfish. It's not in that family. I'm gonna look that up. I'll tell you what, though. I promise you, I will have the answer for that the next time I come back, because I do know several of my friends that fish with jelly balls. They use those out in the ocean.
To catch what?
Spadefish, particularly.
I'm sorry.
Spadefish is basically a big flat brim in the ocean. They're great to eat, good meat, but they're caught offshore a lot of times around wrecks. But jelly balls are what, like you said, are exactly what they use for bait. Very similar to jellyfish. It's not a jellyfish.
Yeah.
It's a jelly ball. And so you find in the water, you have to look for. Of course, you're not going to pick up something that's going to sting you.
Right.
But the jelly ball is used for that. And I will find out exactly what those are. That's a great question. We'll get an answer for you.
Now, you talked about how to treat the sting. I mean, I've seen people take the wet sand and rub it on immediately when you get stung.
I looked that up. You know, growing up, you hear all kinds of things. You know, meat tenderizer, get a piece of meat and put on it. All these things. Biggest thing is you want to remove any of the stingers. You can't see the stingers sometimes that come off of it because the jelly material gets on your body. But it say the first thing is use salt water. Don't use fresh water. Use the salt water there to wipe them off. And then most time vinegar and the baking soda paste is the number one thing I heard. Is the baking soda paste, vinegar and baking soda paste, and rub it on the area. And then of course you've got, you know, they say use hot water, pain relievers, apply lotions, calamine lotions, lidocaine can help remove itching and discomfort. If it's swelling or pain gets beyond what you can bear, of course, absolutely, it persists. Get prompt medical attention.
When will the coast be clear of these invaders?
These invaders, probably several weeks for the hot weather we've got.
Several more weeks. I was going to go back. Might not. Can't go in the water. We'll be right back. DNR, SC Wild. I'm telling you, it was freaky. We were going out there, I think it was on Wednesday of last week, and people were leaving, and the person said, don't go in the water, jellyfish everywhere.
So the old wives' tale about, you know, people get stung.
Pee on it?
Yeah.
That's right.
I was going to say it on the air.
Go ahead. You're all right. Pee on it.
Does that work? Does that work? There's something in the urine that
I looked that up actually.
Yeah.
Mayo Clinic says absolutely not. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
Evan says,
I can see where they would encourage people to pee, use urine. Hold on, dude. Be still. Be still. So it's a lot easier when you're not moving.
I'm going to pee on you.
Close your mouth.
Is it wrong to say hello, cool J's just walking down the beaches? Wait.
Let's see. Jelly balls. What are the jelly balls? How much time we got?
3 minutes.
Call Mel Bell right now. I can get Mel Bell to answer me.
Who's Mel Bell?
He's one of the marine biologists offshore. He'll be good. He'll answer.
Another one.
Another one.
Who'd you get?
Spurs up.
Matthew Butler. Got him.
He's a good one.
I know.
And I saw you just retweeted Justin Marshall.
Yeah, he put out, I didn't see it 10 hours ago. I feel like I was on, but I guess I missed it.
He'd already given me his top 5. But
Oh, really?
I got a feeling South Carolina might be holding him off. He's favoring Louisville.
Really?
Well, I'm thinking they think they're going to get either Trey Smith or Chad Terrell, and maybe both of those.
Yeah, I tried chatting to him, but
Matthew's a great talker.
yeah, I noticed that. I
He
was
gave you
like,
some good stuff.
yeah, he did. So I got a lot of good quotes from him. And
Do you record your
yeah,
conversations?
what I do is I just put them on speaker and then I have a little recorder. So
Oh, so you are recording it?
yeah,
That's good. That
Yeah,
makes it
for
easier
sure.
to go back.
record.
And so when they say, I never said that to you.
I'm like, actually, yeah. I
Actually,
haven't
I
had
have
that
the
yet,
proof.
but
Actually, I have it.
yeah,
Yeah.
Matthew's
Got a
So
quick one
that's-
for you.
so-
I got to know what the deal is.
Most
What
of
are
them,
jelly
they
balls?
talk
Where
to
do
so
they come
many
from?
people, they don't even know who they're talking to.
really.
Yeah. Unless they happen to really know you personally.
I feel like I always say, I work with Phil Cornboat. I know he's
I
coming.
know that's fake because that's I said.
You don't have to say that.
But what are jelly balls? You get
They don't
one
know
of
me.
them, what are
I feel like, I thought they did.
not jelly.
No,
fish,
just
what are-
tell Carson Mason, you just identify yourself with.
With ESPN.
Yeah.
Carson Mason with Scouts Inc.
I
Of
did
course,
that,
I
you know,
they
when I was
read, they
having a hard
practice.
time, reaching some people. And you knew they weren't answering the call because they recognized the number. I changed
Oh,
my
really?
number. I have an app that changes
Text
your number.
text back with it.
I didn't know they did that. I just
Yeah.
thought they.
I have an app, and then I changed my name to Bobby Dumont.
That sounds.
Remember Bobby Dumont?
Stalker.
Yeah.
Like
Bobby
everything.
Boucher, is that the same thing?
Oh, man.
I changed my number when I'm calling these teenage boys so they don't know who I am. No, lie about who I am. Try to ask them where they're going to be going to school.
Oh,
Bobby Dumont. Now, you ready?
Whenever you are.
Are you ready?
Did you get an answer?
Looking for an answer. Did not get an answer yet. We're still in search of question. Hey.
Okay, we continue on this Wednesday night edition of Sports Talk SC Wild. Captain Billy Downer in the house with us. Been talking about jellyfish and everything else related to the ocean and things of that nature. And what was the other kind of the jelly roll? The jelly what?
Jelly
roll,
Sure
yeah.
is mine,
That's
Sean.
right, yeah.
The jelly balls.
The jelly ball.
Jelly
the same
balls.
thing.
They are actually, and I'm waiting on an answer now from our fishery guys on the coast, our saltwater biologist, who will give me a great answer. But they are actually, I think, in the same family as jellyfish. Very similar. I've seen some information on that, but we're going to give a little better answer. We'll have more information, if not this time, next time.
All right, let's get to some freshwater fishing and saltwater fishing. What are you hearing out there on the lakes and in the ocean?
Well, saltwater fishing, stick to that for a minute. It's been so hot. Wow. Last week, 100 degrees. Anytime it's that kind of hot, shallow water is going to be slow. Fish aren't going to go in shallow water when it's that hot. So you got to look for deep water in these tidal creeks. I love to fish inshore. Offshore, a little bit different. The temperature doesn't mean as much when you get down below the surface. But inshore, the temperature has everything to do with it. When the water's hot, fish aren't going to be very active.
Mm-hmm.
They got to get down these holes in the deeper water where it's cooler.
They're a lot like humans that way.
I don't like to get down hot.
That's what I'm saying. Humans slow down and they eat, so do the fish.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So but to find the deep holes, you got to know where they are.
Uh-huh.
And one thing I have learned over the last 15 years on the coast is they change all the time. Your inshore stream, your different tidal branches and things, they change all the time. With the incoming tide, with storms that come through, whether it be a hurricane or a tropical storm, the rush of water, sand, things shift and things change. We used to fish in a hole that was 20 foot deep and now it's 6 or 7 foot deep. It's gone.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to find when the fish are there. They're going somewhere else, trust me, but you got to find them. So when it's like that, I'm hearing a good, there are redfish and speckled trout still being caught in the Beaufort area some. I know a friend this week's doing very well. We did not do very well 2 or 3 weeks ago. They're doing better now, even the hot weather. Flounder bite, up and down, depending on where you are. Got to know where to find the fish. Again, my favorite way is gigging. Gigging at night. It's cooler at night. Things tend to be more active at night. Animals always been like that at night. Flounder, find them on the edge. Got to have the lights. Mm-hmm. We talked about the lights last time. Best light to me out there is the new LEDs out there, the hydro glows. You can't buy a better light. For the money you invest in it, really the daylight light breaks through that surface water all the way to the bottom. You can see really well.
Do you ever find, I see people all the time on the coast, on the beach, standing there with their white buckets and their fishing poles and throwing the line out into the ocean against the waves and all that. And they reel it back and got nothing. You ever seen anybody catch anything significantly that way?
Catch your croaker, a lot of your croaker, your smaller fish, croakers is common on the coast.
Mm-hmm. Right there off the beach.
They will. And croaker are not very big. You're talking about probably 9-inch, 12-inch fish. Mm-hmm. It's like a small. Again, I hate to use the word brim of the sea, but they're kind of the common brim of the sea. Croakers are. They call croakers for the noise they make when you catch them.
What's that again?
It's like a burp all the time. It's kind of rude, so let's don't do that right here. Yeah, the croakers do that. Much like your drum, you can kind of hear them. They make that the noise, the kind of thumping noise when you catch them. But your red drum, which is a spot tail bass. Yeah. And then you've got black drum. The black drum, you've got your limits on those. 14-inch fish, got to be at least 14 now for black drum. There's some protection put on them. But I have good reports in Edisto actually of people catching some good sized black drum. So there are reports out there. People that generally either get lucky or they know the area pretty well. They can do well in salt water. That's why I enjoy it.
How are we doing around the state regarding safety and things of that nature?
Well, Unfortunately, there's always a story to tell about somebody being unsafe or forgetting to wear the life jacket. We've got, constantly got stories of young children drowning without a life jacket. The bad thing is it's preventable if you wear a life jacket. But again, if you're going to captain drive the boat, be aware of what's going on. Be responsible. Be defensive as a driver.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about that when you're driving a car. It seems like second nature, but on the water, you see so much over the water. It's not a clear roadway.
Right.
But you've got to be defensive. You got to think about what's that other boat doing. When you see people out there skiing, tubing, which is all fun, but you got to prepare at any moment for that child, that person to fall off.
Mm-hmm.
Then what are you going to do? And they distribute the water for a minute and they pop back up. So really, just as a driver, the main thing to prevent accidents is keeping a proper lookout.
Yeah, be aware and be prepared.
Be prepared, that's right.
We'll come back, close it out. SC Wild Captain Billy Downer here on Sports Talk. Couple more thoughts from him after the break. Just play a regular bumper coming back. Don't play the opening again. Play a regular bumper coming back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is a short goodbye segment. It's a short goodbye. Boy, it's a fast.
Short goodbye.
It's half hour went fast.
Flying by.
It's fast when you're having fun.
Oh, yeah, I see it now. Let's try this. Let's try cone jellies.
He's still
Still
trying.
looking for my answer.
He's visiting Clemson on August 19th.
Oh, just saw something else. Cannonballs, bait. Cannonball jellyfish, top bait for spade fish.
You found it?
Some of our jelly balls.
Just pick those up off the beach and put them on a hook.
Okay, back for a final couple of minutes with Captain Billy Downer from DNR, this segment of SC Wild here on Sports Talk. While I was away, I heard the tragic story of the woman who was allegedly killed by an alligator in the Low Country. What can you share about that story from DNR's involvement?
Well, what we know, number one, is that, again, first of all, it's a tragedy. No
Yeah.
doubt about it. Anytime there's a loss of life, it's horrible. And prayers go out to that family for sure. We're talking about a wild animal, an alligator. There has been some lots of conjecture about what went on there. End of the day, was an alligator involved? Yes. Was there a death involved? Yes. Would it be the first of its kind in South Carolina? Perhaps it is. But the main thing for us to remember is, and this is everything we talk about alligators, go back to the things we've always say. Be aware of your surroundings. Remember, alligators are wild animals. And in so saying that, they are unpredictable. We don't control what they do. They've got a small brain that tells them to eat and to make certain very basic decisions. So you don't want to trust your life with an animal that has very basic decision-making capability here. He's not thinking about it, he's just reacting.
Yeah.
So you want to maintain distance. And an alligator of the size that was reported, I think 8 foot, certainly at 8-foot size, there to the point they could be a threat at some time. Does that mean alligators are coming out after people all the time? No, it does not. But it doesn't change the facts of what happened, certainly. So again, use caution around alligators, be aware of your surroundings, give them their space. Do not feed alligators. Anytime you feed alligators, it changes their natural fear of humans. It makes them want to come toward a human being because now they're used to being fed. So those things come into play. But again, just using common sense, being aware of where alligators are will keep you safe.
What is on the horizon from the standpoint of the hunting season in South Carolina? What's coming up?
Well, alligator season's coming up. September here, not far up.
Go get one.
That's up, and that is the way of course, we use to control alligator population is through the hunting season. So that's coming up. So take advantage of that. If you've got any alligator tag or put in for your tags, those will be put out very soon. Deer season's right around the corner. It's August the 3rd.
Mm-hmm.
And in 12 days, in some parts of the state, deer season is upon us.
Wow.
As hot as it is, and as miserable for me as that is,
yeah,
it's just not fun. But people love it. So 12 days, less than 2 weeks, we're back out after deer.
And how long is deer season this year?
Deer season runs from August 15th, and a lot of counties all the way through January 1st. Some counties start, Sumter County, for us, start September 1st. But then there are other counties that don't start in the upstate October before their season runs.
I'm sure we'll be talking
It's funny,
about
January
that.
1st, we'd say the deer season went out, 6 months it'll be back around.
Yeah, and I'm sure we'll get into details about that in shows coming up.
Absolutely.
We thank you for being with us tonight. Had yourself a great couple of weeks before we have you in here again.
Enjoy it.
We
We'll
thank
be
you.
back with answers on jelly balls. I will have that back. We'll come back.
You got it. All right, that's Captain Billy Down from DNR. That is SC Wild on Sports Talk for this Wednesday night. Thanks to the captain. Thank you, K-Mac. Thanks to Jar March, Jared Rogers Martin, and also to Carson Mason and to the Professor Tom Hayes, who has bolted the premises. Have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow night here on Sports Talk. Look at those Yankees. 6 runs, and neither pitcher's got it tonight. It's like daggone batting practice out there. Thank you, sir. Handled the alligator question with aplomb. Okay. Now, what's the real story? She's like 90 years old, isn't she? Wasn't she?
Imagine making it that long in your life, 90 years, and
Very old.
That's how
There's
you-
a lot to that story.
Did she walk out of a retirement facility or something?
Slipped away. Bad story. And she fell into a retaining pond at night, unaware.
Yeah.
You got alligators sitting down there. Hey,
yeah,
talking about a 9-year-old woman who's probably, I think she was very short, very small.
yeah.
She was almost like a child falling in there. Boom. In
Yeah.
this pit.
Yeah.
Alligator sitting there going, hey.
Yeah.
Chomp.
That's it.
And she didn't make it.
Now, how long was she gone before they
Like
realized
that
that?
didn't expect.
Oh, so it was overnight.
They didn't know she was gone. There's a whole lot of this story again.
Yeah, I mean, that's some stuff on their end. Where
Well, there's a lot of this. Again, that's why you don't want to.
Right. Is there some liability issues here? Was she in a nursing home or something?
Mhm.
Walked out 1:30 in the morning. Nobody looked for it until 7:30 the next morning. But in the end of the day, did she die? Yes. Was an alligator involved? Yes.
Mhm.
Horrible.
Yeah,
All the things I said, we never had death alligator. Now we have.
I mean, conceivably, she could have fallen in that water and drowned, and the alligator could have got her.
She could have. I don't think she did.
Yeah.
So they think the cause of death was the alligator bite, not drowning.
Yes.
Now, when they get a person, do they realize, like, when they start on it, like, I don't want to eat this, or it's like, because sharks,
Oh, no.
they
don't.
they'll
They are.
yeah.
An alligator is an opportunistic predator. They're going to bite, and what they're going to do is bite, twist, and pull things off.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, don't take much to pop it off.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Look at this picture this guy sent us. If you can look at the fish, I don't know if you look at the fish or who's holding the fish.
Oh, spadefish. Oh, yeah.
I've had good luck catching spadefish with jelly balls on the
Are you looking
reefs.
at the fish or are you looking at
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Enjoy whatever it is you're looking at.
Exactly. I mean, it's great fish.
That's
Hey.
a big ass fish.
What, she's got a fish?
Oh, yeah, she does. That's the saltwater brim. That's the big saltwater brim.
Yeah.
Huge. It's great fun fish to catch.
I see she's got some jelly balls too. Hi-oh.
Oh, mercy.
All right, that's good stuff.
So, Quick one.
Is that the first guest ever in South Carolina related to alligators?
Yes.
In the whole history of the
Yes.
state, with
That's
all the
insane.
gators that
That's
we have.
hard to believe.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is the first ever.
I mean, that's pretty
Which is-
good.
I don't like that. I have none. But
Right.
there
But that's still pretty impressive.
But again.
I would have thought like some kid would have thought, got too close to a fall.
falling down. It's a steepy bank. She just fell down into it. But was she unconscious?
Yeah, that's the
Nobody
thing.
knows.
Like, how long was she there before? I mean, was that boom, boom? Nobody knows, I guess.
Nobody knows. That's why it's so much. You really don't want to get into it. You just don't know.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean, it's a tragedy. No
that's
doubt
why I say
about
at the
it.
end of the day, it's tragic, it's horrible. Prayers go out to that family. As
Right.
far as the animal, it's totally animal from it. It's a wild animal. It's a wild
Yeah, it's
animal.
not its fault. I mean, it's never the alligator's
But
fault.
question one, I mean, my wife's response was when she found out the alligator was killed was, why'd you kill the alligator? Because like you said, he was just doing what
That's pretty much standard procedure,
naturally
though, isn't it?
does.
Well, if your mom was,
Eaten by an alligator.
Wouldn't you
you're
want
gonna
to kill
look
it?
So you're talking about in terms of the family's sake, they kill the animal?
they had to, yeah, medicine demand, just like.
And like the public, you know, that live around there. I don't want that alligator.
There's more, again, there's more details than I care to open up on.
Right.
Sometimes you gotta kill alligators to look and find out,
What's in there?
What's in
I got you.
is this the one that did this?
Yeah.
Kind of like in the movie Jaws. They were cutting up the.
Honestly, that's the case. And
That movie,
That's
Open
the kind of
Water, you
stuff-
ever see that one?
Oh, yeah. That movie scared the
that's
shit
the
out of me.
new one, isn't it?
No, it's probably about.
Oh, no,
It's
no, that's
what you're
that-
talking-
that's what.
It's basically like a
Company gets
GoPro. Yeah, they're out there and they're sitting out there.
Oh.
And you just have to guess, they never found.
But then at the very end of the last scene of the movie, they're like somebody caught a shark and they cut it open and like, oh look at that! Oh look, there's like a mask in here. Those things will eat anything.
Yeah. That was very
It's
sad.
for a mask.
No,
Very
the
sad.
newest one.
Yeah, there is a new one about something on a reef or
The
something.
Shallows.
Yeah.
It's called The Shallows.
Have you seen it?
No, they said it was pretty bad, pretty good.
I mean, because is it people getting eaten by sharks?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, I got one.
in The Shallows. In The Shallows. Again, forced upon a coral reef bed, they're on a rock. They can't get away, the sharks are there.
So whichever one of us sees Clemson first, we'll post it.
Yeah, sure.
The latest movie is The Shallows. You seen that?
I've seen them. I haven't seen
Called
it.
The
I know
Shallows.
what you're
Again,
talking about.
they're out there
Did you
just-
see this story about Mark D'Antonio? Not to change the subject. You see this story came out
Which one?
on Mark D'Antonio? See you, Captain. See you a couple weeks ago. What story? He was on a radio show this morning on Fox Sports Daybreak. The first question was if Michigan coach Jim Harbaugh had gotten into his head. He was then asked about Connor Cook and the ex-Michigan State quarterback not being a captain. The third question was about eating pasta with Tom Izzo. The fourth question from co-hosts Mike North and Andy Furman, who used to be in Cincinnati, was about possible lack of respect for Michigan State's success. Antonio noted in his response that you guys are the guys talking out there, and you ask questions that sometimes don't really make a lot of sense. As North talked following his response, there was a clicking sound on the line, and the coach was no longer on the phone. A team spokesman told the Detroit News there was a short window available for the interview, and Antonio needed to address the Spartans before they began conditioning tests. He hung up on him.
See ya. Coaches don't get paid anymore. D'Antonio hung up on some radio guy. Didn't like the questions.
Interesting.
They were trolling him a little bit, yeah. I mean, the first question was, is Jim Harbaugh in your head? So that's not a good way to start.
Not a good way. That's maybe a fifth or sixth question. Yeah. Oh, by the way, before we let you go, what do you think of Jim Harbaugh? I'm telling you, Muschamp's gonna blow up on somebody at some point.
You can tell it immediately.
He's gonna, because his team is gonna frustrate him, players individually. And his questions, he answers questions in a short manner. He doesn't give a whole lot of detail. Oh my gosh, Yankees, what the fuck was that? If we can't hang on to a 6-3 lead, you ready to do this?
Oh, yeah.
And a 1, and a 2, and a 3, 4, 5. baseball. Here we go. All right, tell me when you're ready.
All right.
All right, here we go. Coming down in 3, 2, and 1. Running back Jalen Holston of Stockbridge, Georgia, is a USC target. He camped twice this summer in Columbia. He has the Gamecocks in his league group right now with North Carolina, Virginia Tech, and Tennessee. Sorry. Coming down in 3, 2, 1. Running back Jalen Holston of Stockbridge, Georgia, is a player USC took a close look at this summer. He camped twice with the Gamecocks. He's got USC in his top group with North Carolina, Virginia Tech, and Tennessee. Right now, Virginia Tech is the favorite. Okay, we'll pick it up here. That's all I got in football. Okay, here we go. We'll pick it up here. And 3, 2, 1. In basketball, 6'2" point guard Devontae Schuler from Oak Hill Prep, Virginia, and Irmo has released his top 10. It includes USC, North Carolina, Louisville, Oklahoma State, Southern Cal, Texas, Ole Miss, Western Kentucky, Miami, and Kentucky. 2019 standout, AC Florida small forward Christian Brown visited Virginia on Wednesday. Coastal Carolina landed a commitment from 6'4" A.J. Sanders of Olney Junior College in Illinois. And in baseball, a pair of 2018 commitments for USC. Catcher Wesley Clark of Lynchburg, Virginia, and right-hander Daniel Lloyd of Somerville. Phil Cornblue, South Carolina Radio Network Sports.
Okay.
That should fit the time parameters.
I think it will.
Devontae Schuler from Oak Hill Prep, Virginia, and Irmo. Running back Jalen Holston of Stockbridge, Georgia, is a player USC took a close look at this summer. He camped twice with the Gamecocks. He's got USC in his top group. Running back Jalen Holston of Stockbridge, Georgia, is a player USC took a close look at this summer. He camped twice with the Gamecocks. He's got USC in his. And a 1 and a 2. Coming down in 3, 2, 1. Running back Jalen Holston of Stockbridge, Georgia, is a player USC took a close look at this summer. He camped. Brown visited Virginia on Wednesday. Coastal Carolina landed a commitment from 6'4" A.J. Sanders, Olney Junior College in Illinois. And in baseball, a pair of 2018 commitments for USC. Catcher Wesley Clark of Lynchburg, Virginia, and right-hander Daniel Lloyd of Somerville. Phil Cornblue, South Carolina Radio Network. Virginia Tech is the favorite. In basketball, Tech is the favorite. Is the favorite in basketball. Tech is the favorite in basketball. In basketball, favorite in basketball. In basketball, 6'2" point AC Florida small forward.
We need 3 seconds off. You got anything?
What do you mean? How long is it?
It was 58. I got it down to 53.
Damn, that thing was 58 seconds?
Yeah.
Play it again and I'll let me listen. Running back Jalen Holston of Stockbridge, Georgia, is a player USC took a close look at this summer. He camped twice with the Gamecocks. He's got USC in his top group with North Carolina, Virginia Tech, and Tennessee. Right now, Virginia Tech is the favorite. In basketball, 6'2" point guard Devontae Schuler from Oak Hill Prep, Virginia, and Irmo has released his top 10. It includes USC, North Carolina, Louisville, Oklahoma State, Southern Cal, Texas, Ole Miss, Western Kentucky, Miami, and Kentucky. 2019 standout, AC Florida small forward Christian Brown visited Virginia. You can cut that. You can cut that if it makes sense.
47 now.
Okay, I think that works. Right. The favorite. Virginia Tech is the favorite in basketball. Right now, Virginia Tech is the favorite. Favorite in basketball, 6'2" point.
So this is tomorrow's recruiting report, right?
Yeah, it should have tomorrow's date.
What? I didn't know I could do that.
Pretty amazing. Ooh, encountered giant jellyfish diving near the wreck of the Betsy Ross, 20 miles. Holy cow, look at the size of these things.
I will come take a look in a second.
Now, you recorded, did you record the DNR segment?
And I already sent it out to Jason and Amy.
Very good. Very, very. What'd you think of tonight's show?
That was good. I really like how we're getting these, I like how we're getting these audio pieces in planned and early.
Yeah.
We had another hiccup with the computer today, but because we had everything planned, it was good. Except from Carson's, I don't know what happened with that thing.
With the Vanderbilt preview?
We mixed it down. It was there.
What did you save it? What file did you save it in? Or what folder?
In the show folder this morning, because I was telling her how to do it. Because I was teaching her how to mix them now.
Did you see it in the folder?
And then it's.
Well, how could that happen?
And maybe when I was clearing out other audio, it got picked up in it. Because usually I download the raw files of like must chant and other players.
Yeah.
And then I edit them down and then delete them, and it must have just gotten
Kind of deleted?
got caught in that.
Okay. Oh, I got to do this. Did I leave? Let's see.
I just sent you,
I see that.
I accidentally wrote guard in North Carolina, but it's gone.
Darn, you made it.
Yeah. Right.
We'll do.
And then I'm still.
I'll be back, Jalen.
Jemias, but I'll send you that.
You take time.
I figured Butler's was more interesting anyway, the storyline, so I did that one first.
Yeah. That's all good. You want some more meeting?